I mentioned that there are three important principles that are critical in designing the right organizational logic to execute Box 3 innovations. Principle number one, create a dedicated team. Remember the diamond? The dedicated team should be distinct and separate from the performance engine. Principle number two, while the dedicated team has to be distinct and separate, it cannot be isolated from the performance engine. There has to be a healthy partnership between the dedicated team and the performance engine. Now let's talk about the third important principle, which is to really overcome the learn challenge. The learn challenge is really about amplifying weak signals. Box 3 is an experiment for the future, and future is full of weak signals. Now, think about it this way. When signals are weak, as a leader, how should you act? There are two ways you can act. One way is to wait for the signals to be crystal clear before you commit any resources. I wish you could do that. But unfortunately, in real life, by the time the signals are clear, the game is over. Another way, as a leader, you can act in the face of weak signals is to amplify the signals yourself. Amplifying weak signals is about testing assumptions. When you are testing assumptions, you are essentially converting assumptions into knowledge. Suppose you test a critical assumption and it proves to be wrong, the assumption is wrong, then as a leader, you should actually shut down that Box 3 experiment. That too should be considered a success. Therefore, what I'm saying is it is perfectly possible for the innovation leader to perform flawlessly, but the innovation initiative to fail miserably. This is not possible in performance engine. In performance engine, it's not possible for the leader of the performance engine to perform flawlessly and then the performance engine to collapse. But that's possible in Box 3 innovation. When I talk about the innovation initiative collapses, what I'm essentially saying is you shut down the innovation initiative. But if the innovation leader conducted an experiment and tested a critical assumption and found that the critical assumption is not valid, the right thing to do is to shut down that experiment. Therefore, it is very, very important that you evaluate the innovation leader not on short-term financial results. That's what you do in performance engine. In performance engine, it is appropriate to evaluate the leader based on short-term financial results. But you can't do that in Box 3 innovation. That doesn't mean you don't evaluate the leader at all. The leader is not off the hook. The leader is evaluated on their ability to learn. And ability to learn is how well have they identified the critical assumptions, how well they have constructed a low-cost experiment. Are they learning from the experiment and adjusting the course? So leaders should be evaluated based on learning, not based on short-term results.